So, you're planning a big move to Europe. That's amazing. In this explainer, we're going to save you a ton of time, money, and let's be honest, stress by pulling back the curtain on the most common and costly shipping traps out there. Let's get right into it. If you're like most people planning a move this big, your brain probably jumps straight to one thing, right? Okay, I'm gonna need a shipping container, or at least a big old pallet. It just feels like the official, proper way to move your entire life across an ocean. Well, I'm here to tell you that for most personal moves, that exact assumption is a trap, a big one. It can lead to a world of unexpected costs and major headaches. The truth is, once you really downsize for an international move, you'd be surprised how often it all boils down to just a manageable stock of boxes. Okay, so how do you make the right call? Well, first, you've got to understand that you're really choosing between two completely different worlds, two fundamental systems. Sending your stuff as individual parcels or shipping it all together as freight. They are not the same thing at all. This slide really lays it all out. On one side, you've got the parcel system. Think predictable, all-in pricing per box. The price you see is pretty much the price you pay, door to door. It's a system built for personal moves. Then you look at the freight system, and it's a whole different story. The pricing is super complex, with all these variable add-ons. Customs is a totally separate, hands-on process. And here's the kicker. It's often priced just from port to port. The biggest takeaway here? The cheapest quote you get up front is almost never the final price you pay. And that right there, that brings us to the main event. We're about to expose all those hidden costs of freight that you almost never see in those super tempting initial quotes. You have got to burn this rule into your brain. If a freight quote looks too good to be true, it is. I promise you. That low price they show you on the front end, it's often just a massive red flag for a whole bunch of significant, non-negotiable charges you're gonna have to pay on the other end. And here's where all that money goes. I mean, look at this list. You've got destination charges. That's the #1 surprise fee for things like port handling. Then you have to pay a separate customs broker. You've got warehouse fees if there's any kind of delay. You need a truck with a lift gate to get your stuff off? That's extra. Delivering to a house instead of a commercial dock? Yep, extra. That final mile from the port to your new home can be shockingly expensive. And even after all that, they might just dump it on the curb, leaving you to hire movers to actually get it inside. So let's put a real number on this, just to make it hit home. A single 40-foot container, right? All in, door to door, from somewhere like Western Canada to Europe, it can easily blow past $20,000 US once you add up all these little fees. That number just floors people. And this is the real danger. This is the too late trap. You often don't find out about this insane final cost until your stuff is literally on a boat in the middle of the ocean. At that point, what are you going to do? You're locked in. You can't turn back, and you have to pay whatever they demand to get your life's belongings back. It's an awful, awful feeling. Okay, so beyond just the money, there are some really crucial, practical things you need to think about before you even touch a roll of packing tape. Let's talk about common regrets, because there are a few big ones. First, large appliances, don't even think about it. Europe's on a different power system. In your furniture, you need to be ruthless. Is that giant sofa really going to fit into a European apartment? Is it cheaper to just buy a new one there? Probably. And please, avoid anything that'll give customs a reason to hold your shipment hostage. Plants, food, anything with lithium batteries. Here's a great rule of thumb. If it costs more to ship it than to replace it, just leave it behind. And here is a question that almost nobody thinks to ask until it's way too late. Can a giant 40-foot truck physically get down the street to your new home? I'm serious. So many older European neighborhoods have these tiny, narrow roads. A big truck can't make the turn. And guess what that means? Yep, more fees to move everything onto a smaller van for the final delivery. Okay, I know. That was a lot of potential problems. So how do you actually make the right call without just flipping a coin? Don't worry, I've got a simple, super effective plan for you to follow. Here it is, your smart move plan. Step 1, be brutally honest with yourself. Make a list of only what you are actually 100% taking. Not everything you own, just what's making the trip. Step 2, always, and I mean always, price out the parcel option first. This gives you your baseline, a clear, predictable all-in cost. And only then, step 3, if your list is still just too massive, do you even start looking at freight quotes. And when you do, you're going to do it with a healthy dose of skepticism, because now you know what to look for.
And to help with that healthy skepticism, we are going to arm you. We're going to give you the exact questions you need to ask any freight company to cut through the sales pitch and find out what you're really going to pay.
So don't just ask if the price is all in. That's useless. You need to get specific. You ask, is this quote door to door or is it just port to port? You ask, can you give me a list of all the destination charges that are excluded from this quote? Then you ask, is the final delivery to my door or just to the curb? And my personal favorite, the one that really puts them on the spot when they give you a crazy low price. What costs are going to appear on the invoice when my shipment arrives? I'm telling you, their answer, or maybe their hesitation to answer, will tell you everything you need to know. So at the end of the day, remember this. The goal here is not to ship the most stuff. It's to find the right plan for your move, the plan that actually fits your needs and your budget without any of those awful, painful surprises. And while almost everyone starts out thinking they need a giant container, you might just find that sending a simple stack of parcels is easier, way more predictable, and just a much, much better fit for your move to Europe. Which really just leaves one final question for you to ask yourself. What does the right plan for your move truly look like?